Hello, happy Wednesday. I've got a really interesting story to share with you today. This is one of my favorite stories that I read all year long because it's about a librarian and it's a true story, and true stories are really interesting to me. So this book is called The Librarian of Basra. It's a true story from Iraq. And now we know it's a true story, not only because it says that in the title, but also it's in the Dewey Decimal System. So this book was found in with other books that have information and facts in them. And this book's number is 20. So can you see that? 020? That's 20. 20W. So the 20 means that this book is in the section in the Dewey Decimal Code area about libraries and information. So that's the Dewey Decimal Code for that. So any other books about libraries would also be right near there, right? And the W is for the first letter of the author's last name. Ooh. So the author's last name is Winter, right? So if there were a lot of books in the library section, 20, in the Dewey Decimal section about libraries, then we would have to find this one by going through until we found the W, right? Other authors with different letters in their last name would be before or after it, depending on which letter their last name started with. And if there were a lot of them that were W's for the last name, then they would just be near each other, right? So they would all be in that same section. It would be a smaller section to look through. So that's a little bit about the Dewey Decimal System, and we'll be going more into that with some library lessons. But I think it's important to know where the book would be. So, The Librarian of Basra, a true story from Iraq, written and illustrated by Jeanette Winter. The Librarian of Basra. In the Quran, the first thing God said to Muhammad was, "Read." Aliyah Muhammad Baker from the New York Times, July 27th, 2003. So that is a little quote at the beginning of the book, and that tells us a little bit about the tone of this book. Aliyah Muhammad Baker is the librarian of Basra, a port city in the sand-swept country of Iraq. Iraq is located in the Middle East. And a port city is a city that has water for ships to come to the edge of the land from other places so that they can exchange goods. Her library is a meeting place for all who love books. They discuss matters of the world and matters of the spirit. Until now they only talk of war. Will planes with bombs fill the sky? Will bombs fall here? Will soldiers with guns fill the streets? Who among us will die? Will our families survive? What can we do? Aliyah worries that the fires of war will destroy the books, which are more precious to her than mountains of gold. The books are in every language, new books, ancient books, even a biography of Muhammad that is 700 years old. She asks the governor for permission to move them to a safe place, but he refuses. So Aliyah takes matters into her own hands. Secretly, she brings books home every night, filling her car late after work. The whispers of war grow louder. Government offices are moved into the library. Soldiers with guns wait on the roof. Aliyah waits and fears the worst. Then, rumors become reality. War reaches Basra. The city is lit with a firestorm of bombs and gunfire. Aliyah watches as library workers, government workers, and soldiers abandon the library. Only Aliyah is left to protect the books. She calls over the library wall to her friend Anis Muhammad, who owns a restaurant on the other side. "Can you help me save the books?" I can use these curtains to wrap them. Here are crates from my shop. Can you use these sacks? The books must be saved. All through the night, Aliyah, Anis, his brothers and shopkeepers and neighbors take the books from the library shelves, pass them over the 7-foot wall, and hide them in Anis's restaurant. The books stay hidden as the war rages on. Then, 9 days later, a fire burns the library to the ground. The next day, soldiers come to Anis's restaurant. Why do you have a gun? They ask. To protect my business, Anis replies. The soldiers leave without searching inside. They do not know that the whole of the library is in my restaurant, thinks Anis. At last, the beast of war moves on. Aliyah knows that if the books are to be safe, they must be moved again, while the city is quiet. So she hires a truck to bring all 30,000 books to her house and to the houses of friends. 30,000 books. In Aliyah's house, books are everywhere, filling floors and cupboards and windows, leaving barely enough room for anything else. Aliyah waits. She waits for war to end. She waits and dreams of peace. She waits and dreams of a new library. But until then, the books are safe. Safe with the Librarian of Basra. And this is a note from the author. I'm going to read this to you because I think author's notes are a really interesting way to get more information about the story and about what the author is thinking about when she writes the story or he writes the story. The invasion of Iraq reached Basra on April 6, 2003. So that was a little bit more than 17 years ago. Not that long ago. With the help of friends and neighbors, Aliyah Muhammad Baker, chief librarian of Basra's Central Library, managed to rescue 70% of the library's collection before the library burned 9 days later. 70%! That's almost all of the books. These events were first revealed to the world by the New York Times reporter Shalia K. Dewan, who heard about Aliyah in the library during a visit to Anis Muhammad's restaurant, the Hamden, which is the one that's next to the library and is known as one of the best restaurants in Basra. Shalia's translator said that Anis had an incredible story to tell about the war, so Shalia made an appointment to talk with him. Aliyah joined the discussion, and together they went on to share this amazing story. Soon after the library was destroyed, Aliyah suffered a stroke and had heart surgery, but she is healing, and despite all, she is determined to see that the library is rebuilt. I think that this story is wonderful because it shows how, with the hard work of a few people, we can really protect so many of the wonderful things that we enjoy about our places, and how important libraries are to a community. The libraries function in this book as a community center, and it's more than just a place for the books. It's a place for the people to share the ideas. So even though right now you can't go into the school library, you can still find ways to have that kind of community, right? So on our Google Classroom for the library, there's ways for you to share the books that you've been reading and other things with the questions I'll be asking you through the Google Classroom library. So I hope that you are able to participate in some of those conversations, and I hope that you are reading things that make you think about the way the world works and about the way that, that you think, so that you can share those good books with all of your classmates and with me. Thank you so much for watching.